Oh my, it's the gift that keeps on giving. Ladies and gentlemen, Stupid is as Stupid does, the latest Center for Disease Control health report, strictly out of Atlanta. If you're 65 and living in Hawaii, here's some good news. Odds are you'll live another 21 years, and for all but 5 of those years, you'll likely be in pretty good health. Now, what they mean by being in pretty good health is that your blood pressure will be managed with blood pressure meds. Your heartburn will be managed with Prilosec. Your anxiety and panic attacks will be managed with trazodone and Paxil. Your restless legs at night will be managed by Abilify along with your insomnia. The pain of arthritis that you have will be managed by the latest and greatest new round of pain management medications, etc., etc., etc. And you can expect to live, to be 82 years of age, even though Old Testament says man's years shall number 120, and any geneticist in the world will tell you that man's years shall number 120. But they also said this: southern states tend to have higher rates of obesity, diabetes, heart disease, and a range of other illnesses. So if you live in the South, you're going to have the shortest life expectancy of anywhere in the United States. And we've been telling people that for 30 years. Dr. Wallach has been telling people this for 30 years. I just spoke about it in my last health lecture up in the middle of Wisconsin, for goodness sake. Our message has always been that the southern states and a handful of Indian reservations around the United States have the shortest life expectancies. I show maps about it. These maps were generated in the 1990s. Male and female life expectancy at birth, county by county, all around the United States. The facts are in. The facts have always been in. Why this is brand new news to the Center for Disease Control is a telling epitaph about should be on their gravestone, but sadly it's not. When you have the wrong perspective on stuff, all of your conclusions are incorrect. The sun does not go around the earth. The earth is not flat. African Americans are not animals, as the slave traders who tried to convince us for 600 years. Oh, those blacks, they're not really people, they're just animals. That's why slavery's okay. Well, from that perspective, I guess you can justify what you do, but of course it's incorrect. And before Columbus came around, don't sail too far. You're over the horizon, folks. You're going to fall right off the end into the mouth of a giant turtle who is swimming across the celestial seas carrying planet Earth on its back, the flat planet Earth on its back. Nonsense, right? If you believe in these things, all of your conclusions concerning these things are going to be wrong, because MDs have an old-fashioned, out-of-date, incorrect, dangerous perspective on the neopathogenesis of illness in human beings. All of their conclusions are wrong. So they say, well, people in the South have shorter life expectancies because they have higher rates of obesity, diabetes, heart disease, and a range of other illnesses. They don't explain why. Because they think it's all genetic. We know why people in the Old South have higher rates of heart disease. We know why the health of Native Americans in this country is crap. It's because the only thing different in those regions of the United States, they have the same water, the same sewage treatment facilities, the same waste disposal systems, the same hospitals, the same medical insurance, the same doctors, the same pharmaceutical companies, the same Walgreens, the same CVS's. It's the same everything. There's nothing different. The weather's different. But really the giant difference between the way that the South and Indian reservations manage their affairs and everybody else is fried food. If they could, in the Old South, they'd fry water if they could. It's a part of their culture, and it's really tragic. It's not ironic, it's tragic. It's tragic because the tendency to eat fried food is a holdover from slavery. Because, Africans taken to the United States as slaves, and everybody else who was taken here by slaves, mostly Africans, were fed scraps, table scraps, and bones, and bad stuff from the slave owners. And the only way that stuff could taste good is if you fried it. I mean, anything tastes good if you fry it, let's be honest. So the slaves got into the habit of frying whatever they could just so they could eke out a little bit of quality in their tragically doomed lives. And, after abolition and, the Emancipation Proclamation, slaves were freed. Nobody told them that fried food will kill you because MDs have no training, no experience, no respect, and no appreciation for medical nutrition. To an MD, medical nutrition is at best like after birth. It's an afterthought. It's not really, has no real role in what's going on because it all goes back to genes, says Dr. Huffenpuff. It's all about the genes. That's right. Give me the gene. I need to see the gene for obesity. That's what we need to discover. We need to discover the obesity gene. Ha, 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 ha. Even though the guy that discovered the structure of human DNA, James Watson, remember Watson and Crick? They discovered the double helix form of human DNA. About 6 months ago, Watson at a press conference says there's no relationship between genes and health, and trying to study and understand the genetic source of illnesses is a fool's errand when really the source of human illness is biochemistry, not genetics. The guy that discovered the structure of human DNA came out and said that, and of course he immediately was lambasted by the popular press, who's owned by the pharmaceutical companies. So, ladies and gentlemen, obesity and heart disease and diabetes are higher in the South, but they're not higher in the South because of a voodoo curse. They're not higher in the South because of some southern bad gene. They're higher in the South and also on Indian reservations because they fry food all the time. And when you consume food that's fried, and I don't care what it is, you're pouring into your body a nasty chemical called acrylamide. And acrylamide is carcinogenic and produces inflammation. Acrylamide causes cancer and causes inflammation. So, if you were to work in an asbestos plant, you would expect to get lung cancer from the asbestos. If you were to work in a coal mine without the proper respiration and ventilation, you would expect to get black lung. If you smoke 2 packs of cigarettes a day, you would expect to get lung cancer. Well, if you eat fried food, you should expect to develop obesity, heart disease, and a whole host of chronic illnesses. Because you're pouring constantly into your body food that causes inflammation and cancer and inflammation and cancer and inflammation and cancer. And then we wonder why the health of people in the Old South and Native American reservations is bad. It's because they have MDs for doctors, and the MDs have their heads so far up their digestive tract that they cannot even see daylight. And because MDs are inherently cowardly intellectually, they never question what they do. So they see people dropping like flies, and they never question their own approach. They blame you instead. This is nonsense, ladies and gentlemen. Hot off the press from Atlanta, from the Center for Disease Control. Blacks fared much worse than whites in their overall health. They could only expect to live 11 extra years after 69 years of age. Well, not going to be so great, is it? If you're black in the United States, the beat goes on. If I was an African-American man or woman, quite frankly, in the United States, I would be ticked off. I would be madder than hell. Because not only have my people been subjugated for decades, not only is there still, animosity between blacks and whites everywhere in the country, and the whole racism thing is not dead. If I was Native American, I'd be triply pissed. Because the Native Americans are a conquered people, and they have been thrown into the garbage can of society by the federal government. You think it's bad for the blacks? It's 100 times worse for the Native Americans. I mean, it is 100 times worse. And now, in addition to all of the social injustice, right, all of the cultural social injustice and all of the racism and all of that nonsense, on top of that, you've got increasingly high levels of disease. I mean, talk about kicking somebody when they're down, which, wouldn't be such a problem unless type 2 diabetes, heart disease, and obesity were not easily overcome with science-based, clinically verified medical nutrition. We have solutions which are science-based and clinically verified to support and promote the structure and function of your blood, to give you a healthy metabolism of blood sugar. We have science-based, clinically verified therapeutics to help you reach and maintain a healthy body weight without having to take amphetamines and speed. We have science-based, clinically verified therapeutics in place to help you have a healthy cardiovascular system. But there's less than, 4,000 naturopathic doctors, licensed, regulated naturopathic doctors in the world. There's less than 800 that have more than 20 years of clinical experience. And of those 800, maybe there's, I don't know, I'm making numbers up. Let's give my colleagues the benefit of the doubt. Maybe there's 400 in this country who actually know what to do to make a difference with these chronic illnesses, but there's hundreds of millions of us. Hundreds of millions of us, and most people can't even pronounce naturopath, let alone know what the heck it is. So this is why my colleague, the most researched, most experienced, most professional naturopathic physician in the world, Dr. Joel Wallach, set longevity up as a network business. He did that to grow a grassroots coalition of the informed, because if you live in the South, you're getting unhealthy needlessly. If you live anywhere in this country and you're suffering from a chronic disease, it's because you haven't been educated about the benefits of science-based, clinically verified medical nutrition. So this is what we're up to, folks. We're educating. We're teaching people simple health recovery solutions. Simple health recovery solutions that you can apply right now today in order to support and promote your body's ability to fix itself. You're going to love how you feel because you do not know what you're missing. Fire Your MD Now is the name of the website, .com. I like the ring of that, fireyourmdnow.com. Click on the longevity button, join Team Glidden, and let us lift you up into the wonderful world of health, and if you want to, wealth. I'm Dr. Peter Glidden, your friendly neighborhood naturopath. Stick around, go into the phones when we come back. I talk in vague generalities. Well, I don't know if they're vague. I talk in generalities in my monologue and throughout the show, so let's dial it down to specifics. I always talk to specifics with callers, but let me give you some keynotes for health, and then we're going to go talk to Pam in Michigan. So hold on, Pam. I just need to complete my thought here. If you're new to my listening audience, first of all, thanks for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Hope that you're learning something here. If you find the information here stimulating, if you find the information here interesting, if the information that you hear here has a ring of truth to it, then spread the word. For goodness sake, everybody in the world needs to listen to what I have to say here. Not because it's me that's saying it, but because of what's being said. You get it? Got it? Good. In order for your body to maximize its performance, in order for your body to optimize its health, in order for all of the organ systems in your body to function the way that nature and God intended them to, your body needs essential nutrients. The problem with nutrients is things like vitamins and minerals and amino acids, right? The problem is that essential nutrients need to come from food or drink. They need to come from an outside source because the body can't manufacture an essential nutrient. There are 90 essential nutrients that the human body needs. Minerals, vitamins, amino acids, and essential fatty acids. You need a total of 90 nutrients which are essential to health every day. That tank has to be topped off every day. The problem is that the nutrients are not in the food. They're just not. They're not in the food. They never were, quite frankly, and since Monsanto's been on the scene, less and less and less. So in order for you to survive on good old planet Earth, you must supplement the food and drink that you have every day with medical nutrition, with science-based, clinically verified medical nutrition. So what I recommend for everybody, without exception, one Healthy Start Pack 2.0 per 100 pounds of body weight per month, and one bottle of Ultimate Selenium per 50 pounds of body weight per month. Now, if you don't want to, come in for $150 or $200 or $250, whatever the supplements cost, here's what you can do instead. Order one bottle of Z-Radical, 1 bottle of Z-Radical, I think it's $33, and order 1 bottle of plant-derived minerals, or 1 bottle of Z-Radical and 1 bottle of plant-derived minerals. Mix 1 ounce of each. Have 1 ounce of the Z-Radical and 1 ounce of the plant-derived minerals. Mix them together and drink that down twice a day for 14 days. So get 1 bottle of Z-Radical and 1 bottle of plant-derived minerals. Mix 1 ounce of each together and take that twice a day. So you're going to be doing 2 ounces of the plant minerals a day and 2 ounces of the Z-Radical a day. Just do that for 14 days. And tell me, and you will feel a difference. And if you don't feel any difference whatsoever, call me up and we'll have a conversation. But this is the only reason that my profession exists. This is the only reason that longevity exists. For goodness sake, this is an extremely oppressive political climate for alternative quote-unquote medicine. It's oppressive. It's getting a little bit better. It's better than it was when I was in medical school. But, my profession's only licensed and regulated in 16 states. The AMA tries to throw us into jail all the time. They try to defame us and slander us all of the time because they don't want you to know what we know. And this is not a conspiracy theory, by the way. It's just the way that it is. For goodness sake. You can only call yourself a doctor in the state of Illinois if you have MD after your name. It doesn't matter that I graduated from a fully accredited academic institution recognized and sanctioned by the United States Department of Education, and that 16 other states license and regulate my profession. Oh, no, says Illinois. You can't do that. And other states aren't far behind. There are 36 states in the United States who want nothing to do with naturopathic medicine. Why? Because they're clueless. And they are under the spell, the hypnotic money spell of Big Pharma. So look, take a walk on the wild side, why don't you? Take a walk on Dr. Glidden's side. Check it out. Stand on my shoulders for a little while. You're going to love how you feel. Order 1 bottle of the plant-derived minerals and 1 bottle of Z-Radical. You're going to be out about $60, $70. Take 1 ounce of each twice a day for 14 days and tell me how you feel. You want to get that stuff at the wholesale price, 855-347-3696. That's 855-347-3696. Or, just go to the World Wide Web and point and click. That's fireyourmdnow.com. Click on the longevity button. And then just follow the place and order buttons, and life is good. 1 bottle of Z-Radical and 1 bottle of plant minerals taken together for 14 days will make a noticeable difference. 866-582-9933. That's the live call-in number for today's show. 866-582-9933. Going to Michigan when we come back. Stick around. We're back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Dr. Peter Glidden, your steadfast advocate for health, talking to you today, the 19th day of July 2013. We're going to go talk to Pam right now in Michigan. Hey, Pam, what's going on? Thanks for the call. You are live.
Hi, Dr. Glidden. How are you?
Good. Hey, listen, before you get started, what's going on up there, man? We're having a heat wave down here in Chicago. How is it up there on the peninsula?
Oh, it is hot. Very, very hot. Yes. And I work in the factory, so that takes all the minerals out of me, and it's hot.
Holy smokes. What kind of factory?
It's a transmission factory.
That must be fascinating. Wow, how about that? They don't have any AC in there? Come on, that's got to be an OSHA violation. Who do I talk to up there?
Oh, yeah, they do have temperature controls for the parts, but, it's still, warm when you're working, so.
Yeah, it's got to be crispy in there. In any event, Pam, hey, thanks for the call. What's up?
Well, I don't know if you remember me back in February 15th, I called you and I gave you like a 20-item list of all my problems.
All right. Well, how many of them got better?
Well, okay, I'll give you migraines, heartburn, arthritis, depression, rash, anxiety, age spots on the arms, 3rd-stage kidney disease, and I've lost 70 pounds.
So all of the things that you just read off are gone?
Yeah, that's all gone.
Whoa. All right. So read the list again. Now, ladies and gentlemen, these are conditions that Pam had She called me up in February 15th, right? I gave her over the phone advice about what to do with science-based, clinically verified medical nutrition, not to treat physical conditions, but to support and promote the ability of her body to fix itself. Generic boilerplate stuff, dialed in. Really, the only specific here was her body weight. It sounds like Pam was a very, very, very good listener. She did exactly what I told her to. And Pam, tell the listening audience one more time the stuff that you had that you no longer have.
Okay, well, I had migraines, heartburn, arthritis, depression, rash, anxiety, age spots on my arms, third-stage kidney disease, and a lot of this, I believe, was caused. I was taking Prilosec, Wellbutrin, thyroid medication, hormones, for over 15 years. And, since then I've gotten rid of all that stuff, but those things caused me to have candida, leaky gut, hemorrhoids, autoimmune disease. So all those other things are gone, and 70 pounds are gone. I'm like a new person.
I mean, it's just remarkable, right? I mean, that's just remarkable. So tell me about the third-stage kidney disease. What was that like? Were the doctors threatening dialysis, or what was up with that?
Well, I went to 3 different doctors, and nobody wanted to touch it. They're just like telling me in my blood results that I had it, but they didn't tell me what to do about it. So, I guess they were waiting until I was going to dialysis before they would give me the pill for that one.
Yeah, that's interesting. All right, so now have you had blood work in the interim here that shows that the kidney function is fine now?
Yes, so after I had gone off my Prilosec, I stopped all my meds, the thyroid medication, the Wellbutrin, and I went back after 8 weeks, and she checked all my stuff, and she's reading it off, and she says, your hormones look good, and I'm like, that's great, and she says, and your vitamin D is good, and your kidneys are good, and and she was going on, and I'm like, wait a minute, my kidneys are good? And she's like, yes. Why? And I says, I have third-stage kidney disease. And she says, not by my blood work here. And I was stunned.
Gotta love it, Pam. Now here's, the burning question in my mind and the gorilla in the middle of the room that I have to talk about. When your MD was made aware that previously you had third-stage kidney disease and that now it was gone, did she ask you what you did?
Oh, yeah, she knows every time I went back to her, because I've been closely with my doctor doing the blood work and everything. The first time I lost 20 pounds, I went back, another 15 pounds, and, so now I'm over 70, but she was like, keep doing what you're doing.
But did she want to know what it was that you were doing so she could help other patients with it?
Well, that's how, the doctors are. They can't.
So the answer is no. It's a yes or no question. So the answer is that she was supportive of what you were doing,
yes,
but she did not want to know what it was. Is that correct?
I left her with all the information. I'm a distributor,
yeah,
and she don't have the time to look at it.
Yeah, okay, great. So this is it, ladies and gentlemen, right? We have a remarkable testimonial here, just remarkable. And it highlights 2 things. Number 1, the body's ability to fix itself. Your body's ability to fix itself is greater than anyone has led you to believe, number 1. Number 2, MDs are not concerned with a cure. They do not care about fixing your illness. They are not concerned with ending human suffering. They are not concerned with making you feel better. They're only concerned with playing out their role in life, which is to disseminate drugs to manage disease. They have to work inside of their own parameters, their own treatment parameters, or they'll be kicked out. Their license will be revoked, and they won't be able to make a living anymore. Well, that's like throwing $500,000 in education away, right? Well, maybe not that much, but at least $200,000. So we really need to understand this, and I'll come around this fire and take a couple of deep breaths and understand it big time. Your MD may be the nicest person in the world. They may donate their time to Doctors Without Borders. They may feed the homeless every Thanksgiving. But they are not concerned with how to make you healthy. They're only concerned with how to manage your disease. Pam, you must feel like life must be like a great big field of tulips for you now. I mean, how do you feel?
Well, I do have a couple questions for you, but I want to tell you I'm 52, but I look like I'm, 30, and I am feeling 20. So,
Pam, are you married?
Yeah, I'm married.
Well, what does your husband think of all this?
Well, he lost 70 also, and my daughter lost 70. Yeah.
Wait a minute. My head just exploded. Whoa. So not only did you recover from all of these chronic diseases, which, by the way, are supposed to be incurable, and number two, not only did you lose 70 pounds, but your husband lost 70 pounds, and your daughter also?
Yes, and my husband was in a wheelchair for 5 months.
Whoa.
On the stairs.
Come on.
Yeah, my husband called you too, and so we have all gotten on the protocol, and we are fixing ourselves. But I do.
Whoa, no, and I'm going to answer all your questions, but I got to take long puffs of this cigarette here. Come on now, Pam, hang out with me. Tell me about your husband. Well, he was in a wheelchair. What happened?
He was taking a cabinet down our basement stairs, and it took him down the stairs 13 steps and crushed his ankle. It was out of socket for 12 hours. We went to 2 hospitals, and they finally did the surgery, and because the ligaments were stretched out so badly for 12 hours, they said, you may lose that foot. You only have a 20% chance you're going to keep it. And Dave says, well, what can I do to change that, ratio? And the doctor says, well, nutrition. And my husband looks at the food in the hospital and he says, this nutrition? And the doctor laughed, So the very next day I started bringing in his Beyond Tangerine, Glucogel, SQFX, and so he started taking it right there in the hospital.
And what happened?
And so, he has been in the wheelchair, recovering with therapy and everything, and now he's walking with a cane. He has plantar fasciitis, but he's walking again, and they say it's a remarkable recovery.
Unbelievable. Man. You just made my entire week, Pam.
Oh, you made my life all over again.
Well, hey, that's the kind of guy I am. That's how we roll right here at fireyourmdnow.com. Now, and ladies and gentlemen in the listening audience, if you don't know anything about this radio station, there's a couple of things you need to know. We do not screen our calls. I have no idea who's calling. I know what their name is and where they're calling from. But that's it. Pam, have you and I spoken since the last time we spoke on the radio?
No.
Right. So I didn't coach you for this call. I didn't prep you for this call. I had no idea who Pam was before she called because, we talk to hundreds of people a month. So this is it, ladies and gentlemen. There's no funny business here. We're not stacking the deck. We're not, putting shills into the audience to stand up and blow smoke. This is the real stuff. This is the real deal. This is as real as it gets. And if you're not really, really happy, really, really angry, or on the verge of tears now as a listener, honest to God, there's something wrong with you. This is it. This is what we bring to the table. This is our skill set. Your body has an incredible ability to fix itself, and your MD is clueless about how to activate that. Thank God you found this radio show, Pam. Or by the way, how did you find out about us in the very beginning? How did that all happen?
We knew about Dead Doctors Don't Lie back in '97, and we tried it a little bit, and the taste was different back then, so we didn't really pursue it. And so then somebody told us about it again, and I think it was my husband listens to Alex Jones.
Yeah.
And so, he's kind of, everybody says he's conspiracy theorist, but he was talking about Joel Wallach was on one day, and Dave's like, oh, my God, yeah, I remember that back, so-and-so. And so we got the CD and started listening, and, we got turned on to it again, and so we are all the way.
Well, listen, and here's what, again, something I want to underline here, right? Folks, we're paying hundreds of dollars a month for medical insurance that gives us access to nonsense because the therapeutics that the MDs bring to the table don't work in the treatment of chronic disease. They just don't work, as is evidenced by Pam's story. While she's under the MD's care, she's got all these chronic illnesses, and then a couple of months on medical nutrition, most of them are gone. Not only that, she's lost 70 pounds. Her husband lost 70 pounds. His incurable trauma to the foot is remarkably improved. Daughter's lost 70 pounds. pounds. How did all of this happen? This happened through the agency of a grassroots coalition. Now, if Alex Jones had never interviewed Dr. Wallach, Pam wouldn't have known about this, and I don't even want to guess where she'd be at with her health now. Her husband's foot probably would have been cut off. Her daughter still would be struggling with weight. Everybody would be overweight, and the future would be looking pretty dim. But one radio show one afternoon changed it all up. And this is why we do what we do, folks. So look, let this be marching orders. If you're a longevity person, get motivated to do this. Get motivated to spread our word. Get out there and enroll, baby. Talk to as many people as you can. Remember Pam's story as you move through the rest of July. Remember Pam's story as you move through the rest of 2013, because it's an exciting story, and we want you to bring our message to the masses because everybody needs it. Everybody needs it. There's hundreds of thousands of Pams in the United States right now, if, dare I say it, not millions. Put the pedal to the metal, Longevity Nation. And if you're not a member of Longevity yet, holy smokes, this is what you're missing. This is what you're missing. So please go to fireyourmdnow.com, fireyourmdnow.com. Man, oh man, I like the ring of that more and more. Click on the longevity button and let us lift you up into the wonderful world of health and wealth. And if you want real-time person-to-person stuff instead of, internet stuff, then call us. 855-347-3696. That's my office number to talk to a real live person, to give you real live person-to-person talk about what we're up to. That's 855-347-3696. Pam, we got a hard break here. Stick with me, girl. I'm going to answer every single one of your questions in the next segment. Hold your hats, ladies and gentlemen. It's a good day here on Fire Your MD Now. Yeah, this is apt intro music, don't you think? This is apt intro music, ladies and gentlemen. Talking to Pam from Michigan with an incredible testimonial. I could go on and on, talk to you all day about this, Pam, but that's not why you called. Let's get to the meat and potatoes. How can I help you now? There we go. That's a little bit better. If I click the right buttons, Pam, everything happens the way that it should. So welcome back. How can I help you now?
Okay. So I guess what I have right now is the autoimmune disease, candida, and leaky gut. So I drive an hour to work every day, and I listen to the Serial Killers or, one of Dr. Wallach's CDs. And I'm thinking that, I had some eggs, and I'm wondering if those eggs caused me to have like this, got into my intestines, and maybe I have... No. You're overthinking this. You're overthinking it, and it's incorrect, right? So I have like this odor, okay? So I'm wondering...
Well, why do you think you have candida, or how do you know you have candida, or what's up with that anyway?
Okay, yeah, I know I have that, and it's going away. I'm doing the Nystatin Pure Powder that I got from Sherry Rogers' book, How to Cure...
So you think that you have candida in your intestinal tract or your reproductive tract?
Everywhere, yep.
And you think that because why?
Well, I was tested.
By whom?
My gynecologist.
Oh, so your gynecologist did a swab and said, hey, there's yeast here?
Yes.
Okay. How long ago was that?
It's been 2 months.
Okay, very good. And since you've done the Nystatin thing, your symptoms are improving?
Yes, that is improving. But I'm just worried about, I have been doing all of the probiotics and everything, and I've been doing the nightly essence, and that was really working. But then I ran out, and so I went back to the Flora FX, and I had the eggs in the same day, and then I had this whoosh come over me. And, I work with a lot of people, and, I'm not putting them through that, and so I had to leave work. It was bad.
All right, so you want to switch back to the nightly essence, or better yet, I think the Longevity's most effective probiotic supplement is the root beer belly. So I'd like to see you switch it out to the root beer belly. How much do you weigh, Pam?
I'm down to 130.
All right, so do one packet on the middle of your tongue of root beer belly a day and do that for 90 days. Just add one packet of the root beer belly into the bargain here every day for 90 days. Now, to support and promote the structure and function of your gut to help your body heal from either a presumptive or, a definitive leaky gut situation, all that's necessary is to take the 90 essential nutrients appropriate for body weight. You're doing that. Clean up your diet, eliminate the 10 bad foods. I'm assuming that you're doing that. And take probiotics every day. That's all that you need to do. That is a slow boat. It will fix itself over time to the ability that it is able to fix itself. We don't have any secret bullets for that other than the probiotics on a consistent basis for 90 days. I would do probiotics on a consistent basis for 90 days. And Youngevity's flagship product there is the root beer belly. So I would switch it out to the root beer belly when you run out of what you've got now.
Okay.
Now you don't have to worry about autoimmune diseases because you don't have an autoimmune disease. You don't. You may have an antibody, that's, why do you think you have an autoimmune disease?
I was told.
By whom? By your gynecologist?
Yeah.
Why? Because they discovered an antibody with blood work?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So the antibody, the MD thinks that the antibody that they discovered is causing the disease. But we believe the antibody that they discovered is the result of the disease. Mm-hmm. They think that the antibody is chewing your body up, is digesting your own body, and is attacking your own body. We believe that the antibody is attacking and destroying old and dead inflamed tissue. So these are two completely differing points of view. The moral of this story, though, is good news for you. You don't have to worry about it because just like the kidney values got better with your blood work, I'm going to anticipate that in the next 3 to 6 months, if you just maintain the nutritional discipline, the antibody numbers will get better and better and better, and then they'll disappear, as will the candida. Slow and steady wins this race, Pam. Just keep riding this horse. Don't change a thing except add the root beer belly, and you have just made my entire month of July. Keep up the good work. Call me anytime. Ladies and gentlemen, that's how we do it. Stick around. More to come.